Well. Another week goes by and we have another PLE that looks like it's going to be atrocious. You know what I'm saying? Before Survivor Series, I predicted the PLE would end up being absolute and utter trash and then end up being pretty bad. Now we have Saturday Night Main Event, and I'm looking at this from a distance. I'm analyzing this card and looking at the stories and stuff leading into this card and this PLE. This is going to be bad. Now, this is already like a D tier, like F tier, you know, in terms of the grandiose of this PLE. Like, no one really cares about Saturday Night Main Event. It's cool they're doing the retro stuff. That's nice. But the actual card and the stories for this are not good. Now, the only thing that really matters as well, because none of these matches matter, and these stories, none of this stuff matters, let's be honest. But the one thing that does matter is the Women's U.S. Championship match, because it's crowning a new winner and it's introducing something new into the company. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and start off with the predictions for this video. We're going to start with the Women's U.S. Championship match. Now, as of the making of this video, obviously we don't know who, you know, the two competitors are going to be for the Women's U.S. Championship on Saturday Night Main Event, but I'm going to go ahead and predict that it's going to be Tiffany Stratton versus Chelsea Green. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, well, what about Michin? You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing about Michin, right? I actually don't think Michin is that garbage anymore. I used to call her a jobber because she still is a jobber, right? But talent-wise, she's not the worst thing you're going to get, right? She's okay. She's decent. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is that if you're comparatively speaking, this is the first women's U.S. mid-card belt the first women's mid-card belt ever being introduced into the company, right? This is a belt that needs to go to the best talent available in the mid-card or undercard. That's just the facts. Michin would be a decent candidate, but if I have a choice between Chelsea Green, Tiffany Stratton, or Michin for who's going to be my first U.S. Women's Champion, it's going to be between Tiffany and Chelsea Green. It's just that simple. Chelsea Green, even though I call her a jobber sometimes, she actually is not bad, okay? She has talents, right? She works to get herself over in social media, in backstage segments. You know, when she's out in the ring wrestling matches, like the hardcore garbage match she had with Michin was actually very fun. I had a lot of fun watching that match, right? Chelsea Green works hard. Same thing with what's her name? With Tiffany Stratton, right? Even though Tiffany Stratton has been an absolute lackey jobber over the last few months, she, at least when she is in the ring and wrestling consistently, she's doing a good job. You know, she's over as Miss Money in the Bank. She's over in general. And Chelsea Green is also working to get over. They're both more over than Michin is. So it makes sense that these two will be in the match. And obviously, I think Chelsea Green is going to win the Women's U.S. Championship, because at the end of the day, Tiffany Stratton is a future main eventer in the women's division. She's going to be a future megastar. That's why she has the Money in the Bank in her first year on the main roster. It's very evident, right? So she doesn't really need this. This belt is more designed for people like Chelsea Green or like a Michin. So I think Chelsea Green wins this, and I think she'll have a nice little diva aesthetic, you know, with the belt and everything, and you know, it's Chelsea Green and all that other nonsense they're doing. So yeah, Chelsea Green will win this match. Next, we have Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is going to win this match most likely. Look, the truth is this, right? Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn is a pointless and nothing feud. Nobody cares about this feud. Now, we can either deny it or we can accept it, but seriously, nobody cares. The fact is that, you know, Drew McIntyre came back after a 2-month absence, and they needed to throw him in some random feud, so now he's in an undercard or a midcard feud with Sami Zayn. That absolutely has the worst merits known to man. Drew McIntyre saw Jey Uso and Sami Zayn teaming up with CM Punk involuntarily, may I add, and for some reason, because they did that, he now wants to beat the crap out of Sami. He's attacking Jey backstage, and now they're going to wrestle a meaningless match that literally has no significance on anything going forward. If Drew McIntyre loses, nothing changes. If Sami Zayn loses, nothing changes. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter, right? I don't really care who wins this match, but if I had to pick a winner, I'd pick Drew McIntyre. He may win off of some shady stuff or something like that, but at this point, man, Drew McIntyre, in my opinion, was the MVP of WWE in 2024, and the simple fact that he's now relegated to undercard feuds, he still hasn't had a world championship reign, he hasn't even gotten a mid-card belt reign in years. It really is disheartening, man. It's really sad to see a guy with this much talent, who's elevated this much, be relegated to these meaningless feuds. And you know, at Mania, he's not going to be in a World Championship match. He's not going to be in the WWE Championship match. And he may, at best, be in an IC belt match or a U.S. title match. So, yeah, Drew McIntyre basically is cooked for the foreseeable future until they give him another engaging feud or story. Maybe something with Wade Barrett or something like that. But, yeah, that's the situation with Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. They rushed it, needed a 5th match, so it's on the card. Drew McIntyre is most likely going to win, and nothing will come from this, most likely. Now, next match on the card, we have the triple threat match between Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. obviously Gunther is going to retain the championship. Would it be awesome if they went, out of their way to actually do something cool and unique and actually give us some shock factor and have Finn Balor win it, and then maybe Gunther just takes it back on like the New Year's episode of Monday Night Raw or something like that? I mean, who knows? You know what I'm saying? Who really knows what's going to happen? But at the end of the day, Gunther's going to retain. The story leading up to this match has been absolutely atrocious. It really has been, right? Gunther cut a decent promo last night on Raw, basically saying Finn Balor hasn't really been relevant in like 8 years, and he's choosing to team with clowns and play second fiddle to Damian Priest. It was a decent promo from Gunther, I'll be honest, but Damian Priest hasn't contributed anything, right? The match with him and Gunther at Survivor Series was boring. The crowd was dead like they were most of the night, and it just hasn't really materialized into anything. You have Gunther being afraid of Damian Priest because he didn't beat him clean at SummerSlam, and then he wins unclean at Survivor Series, and all of a sudden he's beating the crap out of Damian Priest, the same guy who he was scared to even utter a word to a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean? None of this really makes any sense. And Finn Balor somehow gets a world championship shot by consistently interfering in championship matches. That makes no sense. If you consistently interfere in championship matches, that means you're not good enough to be champion. That's evident by the fact that Finn Balor rarely defends the tag belts, and he hasn't won a solo belt in years. You get what I'm saying? It really is a simple process that you have to think about when it comes to the builds of these matches. If the builds and the stories leading into the matches are not good, then the actual intrigue and hype around the match is not going to be good. The only way this match can save itself is if it's like a 9 or an 8 out of 10 plus level quality. And do I think that's going to happen? Not really. I mean, it's possible this could be a good match. I'm not saying it's not. Damian's good in the ring. Finn Balor has a really nice moveset. He's good in the ring. And Gunther is like okay in the ring. I mean, he's good in certain scenarios. So maybe this is one of those scenarios. I don't really know what's going to happen with this. I think Gunther's going to retain. I don't know if the Judgment Day is going to get involved or not, or, there may be shenanigans or whatnot. But quite frankly, I don't really care. Damian Priest, I'm just done with this dude being forced into the main event scene, man. It really is sad. He got a transitional championship reign, and now they're just overdoing it. Gunther honestly should be a transitional champion. Out of all three of these people, the one who's actually been doing the best work over the last month or two is Finn Balor. Right? It just is. Gunther cut a decent promo last night, don't get me wrong, but outside of that, he hasn't contributed anything. You know what I'm saying? At least Finn Balor has had decent backstage segments. He's done cool things in the ring when he goes out and does brawls or wrestles, versus the War Raiders, right? And Finn Balor, out of all these three guys, is probably the most talented. Let's just be honest, right? There's a reason why 8 years ago, when the roster was better than it is now in terms of the men, actually, trying to say in terms of both divisions to an extent, you get what I'm saying? Finn Balor was the Universal Champion for a reason. If Gunther was in WWE in 2016, he would be fighting for an undercard position, wrestling versus like Baron Corbin or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So Finn Balor obviously is the most talented of these three. So I kind of want Finn Balor to win, even though he can't really cut promos. He's still great in the ring, and he has his moments where he's decent in segments and promos. But yeah, Finn Balor, I think with the demon gimmick too, you could have him do that. Finn Balor really should be better than what he has. So I wouldn't mind if he won this belt, but Gunther's going to retain, and everybody already knows it. Next, let's go ahead and get to the next match. Let's set the penultimate match. Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Let's be real with ourselves. We all know there's a 95% chance Liv Morgan is going to win this match. Now, the one thing that gives me hope, because obviously I want Io Sky to win this match. Everyone knows this. I've been glazing Io Sky for like the last month or two at this point. She's been doing incredible work, and she is the best in-ring performer in the women's division, most likely, outside of maybe Bianca Belair, and that's pretty much it. She's phenomenal. And the work that she's been doing recently, I thought, has been consistent. It's been great, and it's been meaningful to help the garbage Raw women's division. However, we all know, I should say, that it's probably not going to work out the way where Io Sky wins the championship. However, with the stuff that happened with her and Rhea last night on Raw, where they're standing up with the belt, they're kind of, eyeing each other with the belt in their hands, I think that could potentially be a foreshadowing that Io Sky might win this championship, and maybe down the line, once Rhea is fully done with Liv Morgan, maybe we get Rhea versus Io at Mania 41. It would be new flavors. It would be a new look at the women's division. We finally would be done with the Rhea. You know what I'm saying? We're done with that garbage, and we don't have to hear Rhea say, I take back my title that I never lost, because maybe Rhea can actually win back her championship at Mania or something else. To be fair, Rhea Ripley never did really lose her championship, straight up. She had to relinquish it due to injury. So she is owed, a world championship reign down the line. I can't lie about it, right? Even though I say that she's, mid and kind of a jobber in terms of her talent, she has talents, obviously. She is super over with the crowd. She is a superstar in the women's division. And, she does deserve the right to at least get her belt back at some point that she never did lose. But at the same time, we know Liv Morgan in this whole Judgment Day arc has gotten stale, it's gotten boring, and it's gotten bad. So I'm hoping WWE WWE can pull a massive 180 and have Io Sky win this World Heavyweight Championship. But who do I think is going to win? I'm going to say there's an 80% chance Liv Morgan walks out with the championship, man. So, it really is what it is at this point. I'm done with the whole Judgment Day. I'm really done with Rhea and Liv. Unless Rhea Ripley and Io Sky can have a good program going forward, or Rhea, continues to ride this high that she's on. I mean, quite frankly, the match with her and Raquel last night I thought was actually good. It's probably one of Rhea's best matches, ever, right? In terms of what she's done in recent years, you know what I'm saying? Outside of, the stuff she did with Charlotte at Mania 39, I would say this is the best match I've seen Rhea do in a long time, besides that and maybe her match with Becky at Mania. So we'll see what happens. I think Liv retains, but I'm really hoping that they do something cool and have Io win and build a feud with her and Rhea. I think that'll be fun. Anyways, now onto the main event of the show. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship. Do I care about this match? Absolutely not. Does WWE even care about this match? Probably not. The reason why is because you can clearly tell that there is a problem with the build for this matchup, right? This has been an ongoing thing with Cody and KO for the last 3 or 4 months at this point, since Bash in Berlin times. This is unacceptable. We are 3.5 months into this feud. It doesn't really feel like a super blood feud. It's not that hyped, and it's not that intriguing at the moment. They had a great promo segment a couple weeks ago, don't get me wrong. But outside of that, what have they done to make this feud feel special or interesting or unique or bad blood level? You know what I'm saying? Where's the bad blood here, right? You have a couple good segments or good promos in 4 months, and that's it? What is this? And there's no stipulation on this match. If a feud is really a bad blood feud, an intense rivalry as they're calling it on commentary with Joe Tessitore, then why in the world is this a normal match? This is the same thing at Bash in Berlin. It's the same match, and we already know Cody Rhodes is winning in 15 minutes. I will say, though, there are rumors and rumblings that this would be a cool place for Kevin Owens to finally win a WWE Championship, you know what I'm saying, and finally beat Cody Rhodes. But at the same time, are they really going to do that on a D-tier PLE like Saturday Night Main Event? Probably not. And there's no stipulation on this match as well, which also adds fuel to the fire. I do not see a scenario where Kevin Owens wins this match. Well, actually, no, I do see a scenario. I can see Kevin Owens using dirty tactics and walking out as champion. That would be absolutely epic if that happened. And it would finally free us from the Cody Rhodes horrendous title reign and maybe have him as the chaser of the championship rather than the actual champion. When Cody was chasing the belt leading up to Mania 39 and 40, it actually felt believable. And his character actually worked to an extent. It was actually better when he was chasing rather than when he's actually champion now. However, are they going to make him chase again? I don't know. It could be cool if he loses and then has to chase it to win it back at Royal Rumble and then defends it at Mania versus Orton or Rock or something like that again. Maybe Roman and Rock, I don't know. But that would be cool, right? But they're not going to have Kevin Owens win this belt at a D-tier PLE like Saturday Night Main Event. I expect them, though, to make us think that KO will potentially win this match, though, with some, underhanded move. Or maybe he hits a pile driver and Cody kicks out last second. Something like that, But either way, Cody Rhodes is going to retain this match, or going to retain this title. It's a shame the build-up for this feud has just been very lackluster, a bunch of missed opportunities. A true intense rivalry like this, like Cody's best friend Orton in the storyline, getting beat up and taken out with injury by KO. They should really be fighting each other at each other's houses, showing up behind backstage and just brawling with each other randomly. You could start off an episode of SmackDown where Cody is just tracking KO and then runs up behind him and starts fighting. They're fighting in the backstage area, and then they fight their way out into the ring. Something like that, little things to aid the intensity of this feud, but they haven't done any of it. They had one good segment in 4 months, and they think that's enough. So, it is what it is. Cody Rhodes is going to retain, and Saturday Night Main Event is likely going to be one of the worst PLEs of the year. I feel like I've said that a lot recently, because every PLE has been absolutely one of the worst of the year. But anyways, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think is going to happen at Saturday Night Main Event, and as always, I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Deuces, ooses, one love.